Real quick, before we start this podcast episode, I just want to say thank you for tuning into the Marc Colcer podcast. I know you've got a million things that you could be doing right now, and the fact that you're taking time out of your day to watch this podcast episode truly means the world to me, and I just want to say thank you for that. If you'd like to continue to support the podcast, right below this video, if you could hit the subscribe button, and then, hey, if you got some more time and you want to hit the download button, the comment button, the like button, the share button, any of those buttons, it's greatly, greatly appreciated. It helps for other people to find out about the podcast, and it helps for you to be notified about future episodes. So if you guys could take a quick second, hit the subscribe button, I would really appreciate that. Outside of that, this episode and every other episode is brought to you guys by Roast Umber Coffee. As some of you guys know, I co-founded Roast Umber Coffee, and we have the greatest farmers in Guatemala and Honduras and the greatest roaster in Grand Rapids, Michigan, all to bring you guys the greatest cup of coffee possible. So if you'd like to try it out, go to our website, use the coupon code MARC30, and you're going to get 30% off your coffee. Now on to the episode. Thank you guys again for tuning in.
Hi, welcome to the Marc Colcer podcast with 0xFaithy. We're here today to take shots at tequila, and I'm so fucking bad at this.
Welcome to the Marc Colcer podcast. Holy shit, I almost just knocked over a drink. What a way to start the podcast that would have been.
It's the straws.
Oh, whoops. It
I
is.
almost always drop this because I hit the straw.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's what people don't understand. If you don't drink out of a straw, you just stain your teeth. Now, water's not going to do anything to you, but I started drinking my coffee out of a straw because my teeth were not as white. And last time I went to the dentist, she was like, "Your teeth keep getting whiter." So that's the true alpha right there.
Oh,
you got to use a
That's
straw.
why these were purchased.
There we go. There we go.
But then I just decided to drink water out of them.
Fair. Speaking of drinking things, you said that.
Ooh, okay.
Shall we just jump right into it?
Okay.
I think we should just jump right into it.
Shots.
Yeah. So Faithy is a little nervous coming into today's podcast episode. So she's got
you were going to take one too.
Oh God.
Oh, I mean, you don't have to. I just didn't know. I mean, I needed to know if I was going to drink out of the bottle or not.
I guess like I'll still take some, but like also you can still drink out of the bottle. I'm not worried
So you
about.
first.
Okay. So this is Siempre. I'm gonna have to send them an invoice for the brand.
Yeah. Shout out to the homies that do Siempre Tequila. They also own an ape. Also, like I own one too. I don't, but
Well, maybe they should be giving us both apes for doing this product endorsement. Well, we have to see. What if I just spit it out and I'm like, this is trash? Let's see.
It's warm.
Okay. Well,
It's been in the trunk of my car.
all right.
I'm not selling it.
Oh, that is smooth. That is smooth.
It is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, you did like 3 gulps worth.
Listen, for the record, it's like 1 p.m. So anybody who's like, wow, he took that shot like a, whatever. It's 1 p.m. Okay, I wasn't expecting.
5 p.m. somewhere.
This is true. This is true. Shots up. That's good. That's good stuff.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get a bottle of that.
You can have this one.
Oh, look at her. Look at her. She's just, speaking of gifts, actually, let's get into that.
Speaking of gifts.
That must be your love language, is giving people gifts, because we already, for the record, we recorded this podcast twice. This is our second time recording it. The first time we recorded it, I felt like my questions were just hot trash. And so I called you up afterwards and I was like, Faithy, listen, I can do better. Let's re-record it. But the awkward thing was you had given me some great gifts on that first episode. And so I think we should start off with the first one. So if you want to show that to the camera, what you gave me, and then I'll give a little story of what happened after we recorded that podcast.
Okay, perfect. And so we can reiterate the reasoning behind this gift. Obviously, I got really nervous on these things. I literally stutter my way through Twitter Spaces. So this was actually advice from Bunny. Just like imagine all the PFPs, or in this case, you naked. So instead of asking you to take your clothes off because it's a little inappropriate.
True. We try to keep it PG on the pod.
We made an image of you.
Wow.
Naked.
Look at that.
Ish.
Look at that. Yeah, so we'll do a nice close-up on the podcast. But, yeah, this was... so here's the thing.
So good.
So a few things happened after this, right? So I put this over on my chair right after we got done recording. And the next day, one of my buddies comes over to watch football, and he's like, bro, what the fuck? And I was like, okay, listen, there's a story behind this, okay? There's this girl, Faithy, okay? She's on Twitter. She's huge, all that. She brought this over, and he's like, for what reason? And I was like, listen, okay, it was part of, like, you got to picture somebody naked, and I was trying to explain it, and I was like, God, I'm doing an awful job of explaining this. Then I don't move it. I just leave it there. And the next day, the maintenance people come over to work on our heat, and I don't think they spoke English, but they definitely saw the photo. And then I was going to explain it, but they didn't really speak English. And I was like, now I would be trying to explain this. They're not going to understand it. And I was like, this is just, so I just gave up. And so who knows what they think of me, but every once in a while they have to come back over here to do something. And I'm always thinking, I'm like, what do they think about that photo that I had?
I'm sure when they come over here to perform their maintenance that they're not nervous at all now that they've seen you naked.
Yeah, they're picturing this.
Yeah.
My only gripe with this photo is I feel like I'm a little bit, I don't know, it might be a little bit more jacked than this image is like.
I wouldn't doubt it. This works for me though.
Fair. Yeah, and then the other gift that you brought was also a Smirnoff Ice, which if I have the video, I'm going to throw that in here so people can see that. But that was something I got iced. That was a hell of a moment. But you can't redo an ice,
I felt bad, honestly. I can't do that to you again.
Yeah, that was tough. It was like a strawberry mango or something like that.
Watermelon.
A
good flavor.
Watermelon. That's what it was. That's what it was. Okay. So we're already like 5 minutes into this podcast, and I forgot I haven't really even introduced yourself. So for people who don't know who you are, can you introduce yourself real quick?
I'm Faithy.
There we go. If you didn't see that in the description of the video or on Twitter or whatever, this is Faithy. And I wanted to have you on because I think one of my favorite parts about this whole NFT space and everything like that is not only do you meet project founders and get to know them and their projects and what they're building, but you also connect with people like yourself on Twitter, and you become friends with a lot of people that for no other reason other than we love these JPEGs, and then we become friends. And, so I think it's cool to get to know the person behind the PFP. So people either see you on Twitter Spaces or they see you tweeting out you always have some just hilarious tweets. I love your tweets. And so with that, I feel like we got to get to know the person behind the PFP a little bit more. So before you got into NFTs, what were you doing with your life? Give me a little background.
So the majority of my life, I just kind of, I lived in New York, but aside from that, I just kind of traveled and shot photographs, different music festivals all over the world, shooting musicians, going to concerts, going on tour. And that kind of is my entire life. I don't know. Obviously love images, the way things look, kind of got into JPEGs, etc.
There we go. So bring it back a little bit. So how did you get into just taking photos? Did you just pick up a camera one day and be like, fuck it, I'm going to start taking photos of people?
Yeah, I bought my first camera when I was 13.
Okay.
It's actually an underwater camera, digital. It was kind of cool. I remember taking a nice picture of a seahorse in the Virgin Islands. I should probably frame that somewhere where I started.
Can I tell you a quick story about underwater cameras? My mom told me this the other day.
Okay.
She said that when my dad and my mom were on their honeymoon, they bought a digital camera that goes underwater and whatnot. And my dad was apparently standing in the water, taking photos with the underwater camera, but above the water, right? And so apparently my mom was sitting there on a beach towel, and there was another couple to the left of her. And the other couple goes, look at this dumbass taking photos with an underwater camera, and he's not undercover. And my mom was sitting there oh shit, this is awkward. They obviously said it loud enough that my mom could hear, but they didn't realize that was my mom's husband. And so my mom's like, you know what? She's like, I just moved 50 feet away because she's like, I was going to be so embarrassed when dad walked up and they were like, oh shit, we just called this guy a dumbass and that's her husband. So,
she should have let them.
Yeah. Oh, she definitely should have. She should have been like, yeah, you're damn right. He's a dumbass. So that's how she'd answer the question.
No, she should have let him call him that, but she should have stayed.
In 2023, my mom would for sure just turn to those people and be like, after 30 years of marriage, she'd be like, you know what, he is a dumbass. And that would have made for an incredible moment. So so you bought this underwater camera, you started taking photos, and just kind of the passion for photography came from that.
Yeah, the digital camera phase, just me and also like my sister growing up, she loved being in front of the camera, dressing up, doing whatever. So I always shot photos of her. And so I was about like 18. I got a Polaroid camera and started shooting film from there on out, mainly Polaroids. I went to, was it Fun Fest in Austin? That was kind of the first music festival that I shot. And just kind of went from there. At that point, I was shooting for a music blog, and all the international music festivals wanted the coverage from the blog, and I was the only photographers, like 3 of us. I was the only one shooting photos. So they would fly me out, put me up, did Oslo, Norway, Barcelona in Spain, Montreal and Toronto a bunch of times, and just other US festivals as well.
And this was from what age to what age? Like, when did you start going to those?
Okay, we're not doxing my age.
Oh,
we did God. Last pod, actually.
Oh my God. She's 47.
Did. It had to have been like a 12-year span.
Okay. Oh, so that would dox your age if we for sure gave that. Well, they can put 2 and 2 together. But with that,
I'm like, how? Wow, math.
Yeah, math does help. So when you're shooting those, like, because it's a little bit, for some people who don't know, my background is in photography too, but mine's a little bit different. I was doing straight up photo shoots where we'd be like, all right, we're gonna get this studio, we're gonna shoot this clothing look, or whatever. Yours are more like candid moments that you're capturing, right? Like taking photos of somebody behind the scenes at a festival or while they're performing or something along those lines. Am I right on that?
Yeah, exactly. I actually hate setting up photo shoots. So like, I don't know, my photography is just like a different route. It's pretty much the way I journal. So it's like the way things look as is, not that like I set it up in a particular way. So like all my subjects, I literally, Polaroids are nice because it's so quick. Photographers that shoot digital, they're shooting like 200 shots of the same thing. So it was like really cool. A lot of people loved that about me. Like I literally took maybe 3 minutes of their time and just took a couple photos and like was out.
I think it's one of the coolest things about like taking Polaroids or any sort of like film is that we live in this generation where everybody wants everything instantly, right? And so you take a photo and then, even like you notice it when you're at dinner with some friends sometimes, and like they'll take a photo of a meal and next thing you know, they're like posting that on their IG story before they even start eating the meal. And it's like, holy shit. Like, go back to just enjoying the moment. Like, get rid of your phone, get rid of all that, and just focus on enjoying the moment. And so one of the things I love about film is that, outside of even a Polaroid, you still have to wait, right? Like, you still got to wait. You got to, there's always the shaking it off period and whatnot. But if you're taking just a film photo in general, like, you can't see it right in that moment. And so you just go back to living. And then when you do eventually see that photo, it's like you're reliving that moment again. And so it's been something that I've thoroughly enjoyed. Probably like 4 or 5 months ago, I started just taking disposable cameras and taking those with me pretty much everywhere I went and taking disposable photos of people. And then, I like right now I have 3 that I'm waiting to develop. And so when I go and get those developed next week, it's like I'll see photos that I shot 3 months ago that's like, oh shit, like I totally forgot about that dinner I had or that, moment that from whatever thing, right? And so it's like you get to relive those moments all over again. And I feel like that's something that our generation needs, is like almost like delaying the instant gratification that we're very much used to in 2023.
Yeah, I definitely always shoot 35 at like all the NFT festivals that I go to. But shout out Champ, who doesn't understand the turnaround time of developing and literally is like, Faithy, win. Like he wants his photos now.
See, he's got to listen to this because it's like that is the whole thing. It's like it's almost even more special when you have to wait for it because you forget about it. And then it's almost like, when we were kids and we didn't have Amazon. And so when you ordered something and you got like a box in the mail, you were so excited because it was probably something that you ordered like 3.5 weeks ago and it finally just got there. And sometimes there is something beautiful about like the having the patience to wait for something versus like, now, I mean, I literally just got 2 packages in the mail from Amazon that I ordered yesterday. Like, it's such a difference in the way that we operate with like the instantaneousness of everything now compared to where it was. But okay, so getting into back into shooting and things like that. What was your favorite moment from shooting? Because I know it's not like a standard typical like. Do you always know who you're going to shoot before you go to these festivals, or is it just kind of like whatever happens while you're there?
Both. I'll create a plan. Sometimes I'll like reach out to their publicist, schedule a shoot on property. Or if I just like run up on someone like Justice, for instance, they wouldn't allow a photo and I just run up on them and take one. And like, they're so cool in person. It's just like hard getting through the publicist sometimes. So yeah, it's a little bit of both. Just like going which sets I want to go to, seeing if I can catch the person if I don't already have them booked.
Do you have any, like, what's your favorite memory from, like, one of those, besides Justice there, but, like, favorite memory from either, like, a person you didn't think you were going to have the opportunity to shoot, or a, like, spontaneous moment that just happened at one of these festivals that you ended up capturing? Because I'm going to end up putting some of the photos on the screen here so people that can see them. And actually, can you hand me your book while we're chilling here? I'm not going to show it because you said you were nervous about the design, but
My pink fur, like, where's the issue there?
But I'm going to put up some photos. I mean, you've shot people like Benny Blanco, Kashmir Cat, Sway Lee, Ray Shremmerd, Vince Staples. I mean, just The Weeknd. Like, that is so cool. Schoolboy Q, Young Thug. Oh my God, so many people. SZA, Chance the Rapper, Kendrick Lamar. Actually, funny story about Chance the Rapper. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said their mom ran into Chance the Rapper, and they're from Chicago, and they saw him wearing the 3 hat, his little logo, and she was like, "Oh my God, like, isn't that Chance the Rapper's hat?"
Shut up. That's cute.
She said it directly to Chance the Rapper, and he was like, "Yeah, it's my hat." What a great response.
Wow, got him.
Yeah, so she ended up getting a photo with the good old Chance.
I mean, some of the cool moments in there, like The Weeknd and SZA, those were like before they dropped their big album. SZA was opening up for Little Dragon in New York. It was like one of her first shows. And then also The Weeknd, that was in the streets of New York. He was outside his first album release party. He's like 23 years old.
That's so crazy. I mean, just looking at these,
It was so nice too.
This is The Weeknd 2012. So, I mean, I'll put up that photo for people to see, but it's like...
Me, not him.
It really is crazy just thinking about, because a lot of these people, like SZA in 2013, like SZA was not like massive in 2013. If anything, I almost feel like she was unheard of in 2013.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's crazy just looking at so many of these photos. I'm going to put up a bunch of these for people to look at.
She's such a goat. And like the Kendrick story is funny. This is kind of embarrassing, but like, so I had scheduled to shoot him at his concert. He was playing like, what's the PlayStation or Sony Theater or something in the middle of New York. And I was scheduled to go shoot him, and no one was answering me when I got there. And so there was a group of people standing there to go do like a meet and greet with them. So I was like, cool, I'm just gonna ride with y'all. So I like went back to the meet and greet. Everyone's like taking pictures with him, dabbing him up, and I was like, okay, cool, let me take a picture. They're like, you don't want one with him? I'm like, okay, just thank you. Sorry.
The greatest part is when you're telling these stories, I can always picture you, because you're a I mean this in the nicest way possible, but like you're this like little awkward, lovable character. Like you get anxiety with some of this stuff. So did it give you anxiety? Because okay, this has been something you were nervous to do, this podcast, right? But this podcast, the grand scheme of things, is not a big deal. But yet you've shot with some of these like incredibly famous and well-known people.
And think about how awkward they remember me. Like,
so
it's horrible.
Did it ever give you anxiety, and was it a therapeutic thing, I guess, to like have to, because you have to work up kind of the courage to talk to somebody and be like, hey, do you mind if I take your photo here? And like in that instance, right, you wait in that line and you go and you take that photo. Did it give you anxiety to do that? Was it powerful to do that? Therapeutic?
Of course, because like I hate bothering people. So I don't want to like walk up to someone when they're talking to someone else who just got off stage or about to go on stage. I don't want to like interrupt their day and annoy them with a photograph, because like high key, that's annoying. And so sometimes it's uncomfortable, but honestly, like getting home and going through all the shots I've taken that day, like is so rewarding. And like even some I missed, it was just like more encouragement to go the next day and like kill it even harder. Because it's like, I still had to deliver. Like I just wanted a certain amount. I wanted to represent that festival in like the best way with the best artists, and there's pressure, but still rewarding.
I feel like that has to be very therapeutic then, to kind of like overcome something, right? Like, cause I feel like
that's what this is for me. Like yeah. I'm doing this just so I can overcome a fear.
Yeah. You literally, just for everybody to know. So you got here, and
why else would I be on a podcast?
You sat down for 5 minutes and you go, yeah, we're not recording the podcast. And I was like, what do you mean we're not? I think I said to you, what? And like, I was like, did I hear her correctly? And you're like, yeah, we're not recording the podcast. And then like 3 minutes later, you're like, all right, so fuck it. Let's just do this. So, I love that attitude.
That's me with everything. I rug myself for like greatness.
Did you have to give yourself kind of a like a little pump up speech when you were at some of these festivals and things like that? Because I think what people don't understand is like when you go to a festival and you're there to just enjoy it, there's completely this like endorphin rush of like you're there and you're just like living in the moment and things like that. But then when you're there and you actually have a job that you have to do, right? And it's something where you're like, you don't want to annoy the artist, but at the same time, like you have this job to do. So did you give yourself like a little pump up speech before you would go and like you knew you were about to be by Chance the Rapper or Miguel or one of these other Kendrick Lamar, one of these people? What
a pump up speech?
A little tequila does that for you. Yeah.
Speaking of Kendrick Lamar, I also brought you a gift because I asked you a couple of your favorite artists before I came, and Kendrick was one of them.
Yeah, this is actually a funny story because we're going to do a nice close-up on that. I am so pumped to hang this, and I've been waiting to hang it because I knew we were re-recording the podcast, and this is something that you texted me out of the blue the night before we recorded the first time.
It's so dusty.
I know. Well, because I've literally left it because I've been waiting to hang it, and I was like, it'll be my luck that like I'll end up messing it up somehow when I take it down and put it back up. So I was like, I'm waiting until we re-record. I didn't expect it. I thought we were going to re-record a little bit sooner than we ended up taking. But when you texted me the night before you came over the first time and you were like, name some of your favorite music artists. And I was like, oh my God, I got to sound cool and send some like not mainstream people, because like if I just say back like Drake and Kendrick and people like that, people that are already well known, Chance the Rapper, like she's gonna be like, holy shit, Mark, okay, basic ass looking. So then you were like,
he said some shit I never even heard of. I was like,
And then you were like, all right, a little bit more mainstream, and I was like, oh, okay, Kendrick, Drake, blah blah blah. And then afterwards, I didn't know where that was going, and then you showed up the next day and you were like, I just have some things for you, and I had no idea what to expect, and that
cute.
Is easily, I think, like. I don't want to say, I can never say favorite because I've gotten some awesome gifts over the years, but this is by far like top 5. So I'm super excited. I'm going to be hanging it over there. And I just told you, I just got this set up for a third mic, and I'll be recording podcasts from the couch at certain times. And so whenever that's happening, they'll see the Kendrick in the background, and this is the story behind it.
That makes me so happy. I literally get a cameo in every pod after this, if this even airs.
This is 100% airing. So, okay, so then let's get into, so you go from photography to, how did NFTs kind of come about?
I kind of slowly got into the space. I actually dropped a collection of some of those NFTs before I even like really got onto crypto Twitter. So I kind of knew nobody even really knows I did this project besides like the few close homies. But I actually dropped 11 of my Polaroids and kind of flipped that to buy my first NFT, and that's how I initially got into the space.
Are those still available currently on OpenSea?
They're on Foundation.
Okay. And so what are they called if somebody wants to go look at them?
I don't know what I called the collection. I think it's just 1111. I dropped 11 of them at 1111 on, it wasn't 1111 in November because it wasn't going to wait. I think March. I'm probably wrong, February.
Regardless, you're gonna have to give me the link, and we're gonna post that in here.
I'm embarrassed. They're actually GIFs.
What do you mean?
They rotate, and I drew the background. The background moves.
I thought you said they were GIFs, like with a T at the end.
Oh no, GIFs. Or do you say GIFs?
No, I say GIFs.
Oh yeah. God. Okay. And yeah, I signed the back of them, so like rotated. You could see the back.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah.
So how did you like? Did somebody just like tell you about NFTs and it was kind of like, yo, you're awesome at photography. You should take some of these photos. You should turn them into NFTs and like see if you can make some money off that?
I don't remember whose idea it was, if it was mine or not. I don't think anybody mentioned that to me. It just like made sense. But like if I didn't even have much of like a following. So like I kind of want to drop another project, which
You're doing.
I'm doing it. I'm shooting the photos right now. I have a few left. We're going to drop another 11.
There we go.
On the 11th, which is next week.
What are they going to be of? Or is that a surprise?
It's not a surprise because I actually want to like present the entire collection before I drop them, because I want to drop one a day, but I want people to know which one they want to buy so they're not just like waiting to see.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
It's neon art that I see around town.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, these are going to sell for a shit ton.
I brought them. I'll show you.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Can I put some in the video?
Yeah.
There we go. Well, this is coming out right before they go live.
I know. It makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah.
So, okay. So they're going to be, we'll have them on the screen right now.
This is what I was thinking earlier. We're talking about like film turnaround time, like waiting. I have this weird thing where like I'll get my film back and I put it like in a invisible vault. Like I don't even send it to people because I just like, they're such treasures that I'll like wait for the right moments because I also want to be the first one to post it sometimes. And like now I care a lot less, but like I just like, they're so precious to me. It's not just like, I don't know, but it's so weird because I'm like, these people probably want their photos, but like...
It's a thing when you take a photo, like there's something powerful about that. And it's like your baby, even though like you're not always the person who's in the image, but it's just like there are these like moments in time that you captured. And it's my favorite thing about photography because even video to me is still a little bit different, but like a really good photo just captures that one singular moment of time and like nothing else can capture it like that. And so the angle that you were standing, the lighting, like everything like that, everything that was happening in that moment, like it just shows so much all in one photo. And so I'm very excited for this. I have a feeling you're gonna do extremely well with this.
Thank you.
So
yeah, that's why I just get so protective when you're like asking to post the photo. I'm like, it's 100% fine, but for some reason I'm like, but nobody can see them, they're mine. And then like it doesn't work out that way.
So how do you overcome like the, I guess like once again like the anxiety of like worrying about, okay, so how do you're a creative, but then you're also, you know, this stuff is anxiety inducing, right? So how do you overcome that to put out your collection? Because I know there's got to be other people who are watching this, maybe they want to put something out, but they're nervous about doing it. So how do you overcome that anxiety and just say, you know what, I'm ready for these images to go live and for people to know that there's more to me than just like my Faithy, you know, tweets?
I'm never not nervous. Like I know how I want it to look when I deliver it, but it's not going to happen until like I do it. Like it's not going to be like, I have the vision, but I don't know how to describe it. Fuck my life. Maybe I need another shot.
I think you should rip another one.
I think so too.
I'm gonna drink some.
Like if we're gonna go for it, we fully go for it here.
Yeah, I'm drinking aloe and collagen, and you're drinking tequila. Cheers.
Does that make sense though?
Yeah.
Like, can you relate to that in any way? Like, I guess like doing your pods, like you go into it like having idea, but it doesn't like execute until like literally it's getting done. I feel like Frank kind of works that way. Like he knows what he's doing, but it'll just like, okay, we're doing that. Let's do it.
Yeah, and
in the moment.
I think sometimes you just kind of have to have the attitude of like, fuck it, do it, right? And then you're going to get better with everything that you do, right? So this won't be the last like NFT collection that you end up coming out with. I'm sure you'll have another and you'll have another and you'll have another. And it's the same thing of like, this won't be the last podcast I come out with or the last time that you're on the podcast. Like we'll do it again and I'll have more episodes and you have to overcome the anxiety of like, is this the best like episode ever, you know, because there's also the reality of like not every episode is going to be the best episode ever. Not every photo you take is going to be the best photo ever, right? And so, you know, I think it's like perfectly normal. Like maybe you have an idea in your head of like, I want my NFT collection to sell for X amount, right? And let's say it goes for lower than that. There's anxiety there of like, was this dumb? Like, was this...
That's like if I get a sale though.
Oh, you're 100% going to get a sale. So, but it's one of those things where like you have to remind yourself that like everything happens in due time, right? Like maybe these photos sell for like, I don't know, 1 ETH or 1.5 ETH or, you know, whatever. And then 3 years from now, they're going for 50 ETH, 60 ETH, you know, like Drifter, for example, like, are you familiar with Drifter? So his photos are like, to me, some of the coolest photos because they're in these like insane, I'll put one of them up if they don't know who he is, but they're these insane locations that you have to risk your life to literally get those photos. And so every time I see one, they're just absolutely crazy. And for him, I want to make sure I get his story right, but he basically, I believe he was a veteran if I have it correctly, and he had PTSD from that, and one of his ways of overcoming that PTSD was climbing to these like crazy locations. And so he started taking the photos, putting them up for sale, and then they started going for these crazy prices. And so, but I guarantee they didn't start at those crazy prices, right? And so now he's doing incredible things with that. Same thing like Beeple, for example, was selling his artwork for like $100 a piece. Now they're selling for, 100,000, million, all these crazy prices. I think he had one go for 6 million, 7 million, whatever. So you have to start somewhere. And a big part of that is like just overcoming your anxiety about it and just saying like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to have fun with it. And we're just going to go from there,
Yeah. Drifter Shoots, Drifter's amazing. I was going to say his handle's at Drifter Shoots for people who don't know. And also, if you don't know Beeple, I think that's at Beeple.
Yeah. If you don't know who Beeple is, we got to get you paying more attention to the NFT space. But yeah. And so
sorry. I was going to say this too. I need Drifter's pep talk. I think that will help me with my anxiety.
What if he tells you, okay, you just got to climb up into one of these towers with me? Would you do it?
Yeah. But it's like no like suspension.
Oh yeah, he's just going for it. Yeah, I mean that's why I'm saying it's like I've looked at the photos and I'm like, yes, if I was in that moment, I could take a similar photo. I could just never get to that moment, so I could never take that photo. So it's like it is truly the craziest images.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah,
it's getting there.
Yeah. 100%.
What a legend, honestly.
Incredible legend. I'm very excited to see where he goes with it. And I'm very excited to see where you go with your collection because I know it's going to be very, very exciting to see all of these come about. I haven't seen them yet as we're recording this. So I'm looking forward to once we get done here, you're going to have to show them to me. Okay. And, but yeah. And so
you'll only be the second and maybe third. Do Web2 people count?
Barely.
Yeah, probably like the second person that will only see them before they... That's still too many. That gives me anxiety.
Oh, you are something else. These are going to be seen by everybody, and they're going to love them. And someday when you are the next people or
you'll see the bloopers too.
Ooh, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. But when you get to the point where you're this hugely famous photographer, Feeple. Oh, that is you could do something with that. That doesn't sound right. But yeah, when you're Feeple, or Frifter,
that one is cute.
Frifter and Feeple, when you're as big as them, people are gonna go back and watch this podcast and be like, shit, if she could overcome the anxiety and do it, like
I didn't though.
What do you mean you didn't?
I didn't overcome the anxiety. I still did it.
But that's what I'm saying. It's
I did the damn thing. Low key, high key anxiety just doesn't exist.
Fair. Nothing's real. Nothing. We're in a simulation. So
it's all mental. All mental.
So, what are your obviously besides the photography aspect of things, what's your overall just take on the NFT space in general? Like it's this completely different world from.
It's goofy. Y'all are goofy as fuck.
And what do you consider yourself then?
Oh, same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure
it's not worse.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, what were your thoughts of going from not in the NFTs at all to getting into this and being in the space? What are your overall impressions of it?
It's so much fun, honestly. So when I first got in the community that I had first bought into, Corky's, that
was your first NFT project?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Did you sell and make a bag?
No.
I
didn't sell up the top. I think I came in after the top, when they hit 3. I came in and bought 1.2. I think I sold. I don't know. I'm just kind of the worst with trading. But honestly, the best community. I had such a good time. As soon as I got the Corky, just 500 people just coming to welcome me. I was like, this shit is fun. So I'm went and bought another NFT, radio silent, because I just picked the wrong one because I had no idea what I was doing. And just kind of rode the wave and bought more from there. That was last March. So I haven't even been in this space for a year. So coming up on that, but I maybe have 50 to 100 NFTs now.
Damn.
Majority in the hidden folder.
There we go.
Yeah. We're getting back, most recently, getting a little better at trading. besides just like bonk driving me absolutely fucking mad.
Oh, we're gonna get into bonk in a second. Don't worry about that. I got a few questions, but but yeah, no, I feel like so Quirkies was a project that I got into too, and so it's actually to this day I've actually never thought about this. It's my highest sale of an NFT. I remember I was out to dinner and I sold one of my Quirkies, and price of ETH was really high at the moment, and so I made whatever it was, like $8,000 or $10,000 or something like that.
Wow.
And I remember I was sad, and somebody was like, "What do you mean you're sad?" I was like, I kind of love my Quirky, like, and
Same.
yeah, I was a little sad. It was like I thought I would be like this euphoric feeling of like, holy shit, just made a ton of money.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, because I got in when they were a low price, so it was but it's something where it's really interesting when you think about it, because when you think about a $10,000 purchase, right? If you go and you buy an expensive purse, it's $10,000, right? There's really no social engagement you get from that, right? Like, even if you post it on your IG story, like, people are just kind of like, oh, like somebody might know the value of it and just be kind of like, oh, that's cool, whatever. But when you do post the NFT, regardless of its value, $10K, $500, $50, whatever it is, $100K, like, either way, you post it on Twitter and people love it and they engage with it and they're excited for you to join the community and things like that. And that to me is one of my favorite things, because even when you go and you purchase something like a house, right? If you literally post a house and you post on your IG story, like, just bought my first home, which for most of us millennials, we can't relate, especially us people in LA. We can't afford that. But for people in the Midwest where you can afford a home, they post that. There's really no, like, you don't really get anything from that. And I'm not saying that you necessarily need that, but it's nice. It's a nice thing to feel welcomed. And when you go into these NFT communities and you join it, it is this powerful feeling of like, all these people are
community.
Yeah, are really like loving that you're there.
I love my quirky friends, honestly, a lot.
There we go.
Yeah, it's just like my day ones.
Okay, so next I want to get into so do you remember exactly like where you were when you bought your first NFT? What was that moment like? Like, is there any like lasting memories from that experience?
Interesting you ask. Oddly enough, I was in the middle of nowhere, Texas, in a hotel room, actually about to get my father out of jail. So that was memorable. That is
nice. Definitely memorable.
Yeah, that was a good moment. Happy to bring him home.
And then you have to explain to him what NFTs are?
We talked like every week while he was in jail, so he fucking knew.
There you know, like, I knew about the blockchain, I knew about NFTs.
Yeah. He'll call me and be like, how's Bitcoin doing? I don't fuck with Bitcoin. Let's talk ETH, daddy.
So I guess, like, how much do you want to talk about that? Like,
whatever works for me.
Okay, so how long was he in jail, if you don't mind me asking? 4 years. Okay, and how did that impact you within like your just life journey? I feel like that's a long time. So what was the biggest impact of that experience for you?
Every part about it, just kind of like, oh God, the tequila. Fuck. It like broke the family, but brought everybody closer together ultimately. Like, he struggled with drugs his entire life, and that's what kind of led him that way. It was always a matter of like getting the phone call, like, is he dead or is he in jail? So like, not thankfully, but like better than dead. He went through what he went through and like has gotten out so much better than before. Proud of him as fuck.
There we go. Yeah. There we go. And so he's
a good dude. I don't know if you've checked the Twitter, but he's like breakdancing and shit at Christmas, rapping at Thanksgiving. He's a little Twitter sensation.
He's living his best life.
I'm going to start him a TikTok.
There we go. Yeah. And so that was last March?
This is actually my press tour podcast for his upcoming TikTok. I wish I had the handle, but stay tuned.
There we go. You're going to have to drop the link. We'll throw that in the bio too, in the description. But so and he's doing well now? Yeah. That's the biggest thing.
He's living life. What a fucking legend, honestly.
There we go.
Yeah.
So then getting into, I guess, further into the NFT aspect of things, you've gone to some of these NFT events. Has that been something that you've thoroughly enjoyed, or like, what are your thoughts on like these NFT events? I know you were out at Basel, right? Yeah. And you were in Vegas. Were you at NFT New York too? Yeah. Okay, so you basically did the whole tour of NFT events in the last year. What was your favorite event? What are your likes, dislikes, and things like that with these NFT events?
I feel like New York was more like groundbreaking. For me, like I did LA first, and Cross was actually the first person I met. ETH guy.
Oh, I know who he is. Come on now.
Cross.eth, the Cross.eth. Met him first and like met a couple more people during LA, but it wasn't until New York where I finally just kind of like met everyone, like the majority of the homies. And then Basel, meeting more people. Vegas, same thing. They're all really intriguing to go to. I love meeting people IRL. Have I had enough by now? Like, probably. Am I going to keep going? Probably. But it's just the same thing over and over. But I find the most joy in my life meeting these people IRL. Like, nothing makes me more happy. And it's cool because I'm very much introverted and like Web2, but when it comes to Web3 events, I know that I could potentially be standing next to someone I talk to on Spaces every day, but I don't know what they look like. So I'm like enticed to like literally go introduce myself to everybody. So I'm like way more social in that setting.
Yeah, no, I love that. That is who's been the most like shocking person that you met and you're like, holy shit, like I didn't expect you to look like this, or in a good
King
way
Fudd.
or whatever way. Yes, exactly.
I thought he was gonna be some just like huge old motherfucker. Bro's like decent looking.
Decent. I'm gonna give him a 3 out of 10.
Okay, his PFP.
I'm gonna clip that and put that on Twitter.
Yeah.
No, I met King Fudd at the same event in Vegas, and he walked behind me, and then I think he just hugged me. And I was kind of like, okay, like I'm used to this at NFT events because I was like,
and he was like, it's not a gun.
No, facts. No, he whispered in my ear. He's like, "What up, dude?" And I was like, "Oh, I know exactly who it is the moment you say, dude." So yeah, that was. It is definitely one of my favorite things is meeting everybody at IRL events. Like that's where you and I first met was in Vegas, and then I met Leap at that same event.
Also legendary. We love Leap.
We love Leap. Anybody who doesn't love Leap, I will fight to the death in a cage match.
Bro, I literally can't stop laughing at their story about him just falling off the bed every night in Basel. Like that makes me live.
Leap is one of the most genuine humans, and I think I tell him pretty much every time I'm in one of his spaces, like somehow whatever the topic at hand is, I'll just raise my hand and I'm like, Leap, you're a great human. And it's like no matter what the space is, it's just Leap is just a genuine good dude.
Can we start him like a GoFundMe
for
him?
Just in general, just
for being a legend. I don't know. These like hosts don't get paid for spaces, and like
this is true.
Anyone should be making money. It's Leap. And you know what? His ass wouldn't accept it either.
This is
1,000%.
100%. He'd end up like giving it back to you or donating it. No, Leap he's great. I'm very excited to see his whole like next chapter and like where he takes all of this. And it really goes to show that like I think the coolest part about the NFT space is that there's so many different roles that you can play within it, right? Like you can be somebody who just strictly buys and sells NFTs. You don't even have to really be on Twitter to do that, right? Like you can just be somebody who just loves buying and selling them, going off the trends and things like that. You can be somebody who watches this sort of content, really gets into who are the people behind these PFPs on Twitter and things like that. You could be the person who is creating content. You could be the person who's a reply guy. Love reply guys. Reply guys might be my favorite people in the entire world because you know what? We all love that little, reply that you get. It just means that somebody's paying attention and giving a shit about your tweet. So
100%.
So shout outs to the reply guys, but there's so many
Love
different roles that you can play in the NFT space. And it's like, it really is a cool thing that like no matter who you are, no matter what your like social comfortability is, like you don't have to be somebody who makes content in order to like thrive in this. You can be somebody who just every once in a while speaks on Twitter Spaces or is a dev or is a community leader or a Discord mod or whatever. There's so many different things that you can do. It's really, really cool.
The only content I think I want to start making is like rebuttal videos to Gentle Tornado.
We are riding.
Honestly, I'm gonna do it, and like probably today.
He seems
I hope so.
Like I can't wait to meet him too, because he seems like the most genuine human being.
I want to like scream at him from like a yard away. Is a yard decent enough? Like 50 yards? 50 yards. I want it to be loud as fuck.
I just want my relationship someday to be like him and his wife, because they have such a beautiful marriage, and
she's so pretty. Like their Christmas, they just thrived.
I know, it's adorable.
Him waking his sons up for Christmas. Like, why do I know his whole life story? But it's so cute.
It's very adorable. And that's the cool part about about, once again, like this space is that you get to meet people who live all the way across like the world, right? And you get to know them, and you feel like these are people that you're now like. I posted something that my mom said to me earlier today on Twitter, and then somebody replied with their mom doing a shoey, and it's like that is like the cool part about this space. It's just like you connect with people on completely different levels. You know?
Should I make my mom do a shoey?
I think you should.
My mom will do anything I say. She's so cute.
For the culture. So, okay, so I have a question for you. So obviously, like during a bull market, it's really easy to be in a space like this because there's a ton of buzz. You see big companies getting involved in Web3. You see people who are making a shit ton of money. It's just like NFTs and crypto are everywhere, right? And then you get into a bear market, which is basically the polar opposite, right? There's literally no buzz. People are losing a shit ton of money, and there's not as much going on. Big brands are a little bit more hesitant to getting in. You see those articles like every other day. It's like, is Bitcoin dead? And so you see these sorts of things. So what keeps you here during a time like that?
Because I've never been in a bull market. I came in after the bull market. So this mini pump that's happening right now, I'm so fucking hyped.
You are writing about this mini pump.
Literally.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's actually, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of that.
Yeah, so next bear, after the next bull, I'm out.
It's going to hit you hard. You're going to be like, this shit sucks.
I remember that.
Oh, man. It really is. Like, you have to stop telling yourself, like, oh, this NFT that I had was worth this. And you have to just come to the realization that, like, you got to forget what the former price was and start embracing what the current price is, because it is what it is, you know?
I've honestly like never lost my mind as much as I do in Web3.
Yeah, it really is something that just, tests
like,
you in every way possible.
Everything I own right now, like I know the floor price what it is right now off the top of my head. Don't ask me.
Is that what you do? You just wake up every day checking floors?
Oh, for sure. That's actually my tweet this morning, which I'll probably delete because I delete every tweet.
Oh my God.
I'm one of those.
You got to just keep your shit up, okay? No more taking that stuff down. You just got to embrace it.
I'm embarrassed.
What are you embarrassed about?
Nothing. Fuck it.
Fuck it. We rock.
Yeah, no, I said what floor price do you check first in the morning? So Mark, what floor price did
Yeah, currently it's been this morning was dust because somebody put $115,000 into dust last night. So there's that.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah, so the price went up
it
like 50%.
may or may not have been me.
I knew it was you.
Yeah.
That's why you were late today. And then Bonk, been checking Bonk like crazy. So
I think I need another shot.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
I got a question actually for you about all this. Okay. So the last time you were here, you were like, do you have any games that we're going to be playing on the podcast? And I was like,
I love games.
Yeah, I was like,
that makes sense.
The issue is, I was like, if we go with like a basic, like fuck, marry, kill, right? I was like, it's going to be kind of awkward of like, whoever you pick for fuck is going to be like, oh, Faithy wants to, yeah. So I was like,
you like to know?
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? We're going to avoid that, but we are going to do fuck, marry, kill with a little bit different. So we just brought up these coins. So actually the fuck, marry, kill is dust, ape coin, and bonk. Fuck, marry, kill.
Okay. I would fuck bonk. Why?
You can tell me.
I would kill ape coin and I would marry dust.
Wow, I love that answer. Why is that? Why would you fuck bonk? What a sentence.
Well, because it has an O, so like I need somewhere to fuck it. If we're like trying to be like full seriousness here.
This is true.
It just seemed fuckable.
Why are you killing
it? And it
coin?
fucked me too. So I'm gonna fuck it right back. This is angry sex now.
Wow. Okay. Sorry. And then why would
we were trying to not make this like go downhill, and of course Faithy does. So
why would you kill ape coin? What's your issue? You don't like apes?
I was thinking about this earlier when you're talking about like luxury bags. Mm-hmm. And like I feel like I look dumb in luxury bags, and I feel like same thing with ape. I would probably feel dumb. Like I feel like I'm not an ape.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm like a little pudgy.
Oh, little pudgies are adorable.
They're so cute.
I've got a question coming up about them soon too.
Okay, but, I'm ready.
Why do you want to? Lastly, why do you want to marry dust?
I just whatever Frank says goes.
That's facts.
Yeah, and I'm here for the long haul.
Okay, so let's make it awkward. So if you had to invest $100,000 into one project right now, you have to choose either Luca Nuts with Pudgy Penguins or Frank with D-Gods. Which one are you choosing?
Oh, fuck my life. Oh, shit. You're going to make me answer that?
I'm holding you to an answer here.
Can my answer be or?
No.
I say Luca because the gel blasters.
Okay, so you got to explain that to me. I don't even know what that is.
Oh, he makes this machine. It's like an airsoft gun, but little gel blasters.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, so in Miami at his festival, show, concert, his gig. What did you call it?
I don't know. Pudgy Penguins
event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
just
yes.
Very simple word, No, we were just all fucking running around with the gel blaster shooting each other.
Oh, there we go.
It was great. So probably that. And I'm sure Frank would agree. He loves a good gel blaster as well.
Okay, so I'm going to tell Frank you're bearish on D-Gods. Yeah, that's going to be clipped. I'm actually excited. I'm going to have Luke on my podcast soon. So I might just floor my D-Gods then for Pudgy Penguins. And I'm just going to tell Frank it was all your fault.
Well, that's why I did that, because I knew he was going to be here next. So like if you were to share that information,
Wouldn't it be awkward now if he stands me up next week?
And then Frank comes on.
And then I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. I just got like my first Pudgy rod. And like irrelevant, also relevant. I'm excited. Yeah, I got a rare on the floor.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
we love that.
Yeah, I like that I'm getting better at trading. That's cool.
Even though
I'm not trading it, but like just like fine. Like usually I would just be like, that's fucking cute. I want it. Not even like looking at traits and percentages. And like now I have some grail little Pudgies.
Didn't you have a Sappy Seal PFP at one moment? Am I right on that, or am I completely imagining that?
Probably like 5 minutes. I'll like change my PFP and be like, no, I'm just like, I don't know.
Fair.
It's like bubbles right now.
Yeah. I feel like I once heard about Pudgy. I feel like I saw that.
Did I have a Sappy Seal for a while?
I don't know. Maybe somebody else.
That's a good Sappy Seal.
Yeah.
I love her.
Love the Sappy Seals. Okay, so next up, we've had influencer boxing matches, right? But they're kind of boring. You see a bunch of guys who can't really throw a punch, whatever. But
have we had?
Not necessarily in
I feel like they were supposed to have happened.
Not in the Web3 space. Not in the Web3 space. But just like we've seen like Jake Paul and shit fight people, right?
Sure.
But okay, so we've had influencer boxing matches. What I think we need is influencer cage matches. So I'm gonna give you some matchups and you gotta tell me who would be the winner. Okay? So first matchup, K Money or Champ?
Champ.
Why?
I don't know. Honestly, I think K Money would win it because I feel like he could scrap.
You think he could get scrappy?
Yeah. He's fast.
He is fast. You don't think Champ is fast?
Can Champ fight? I feel like he's gonna be like, don't ruin my like.
You don't think? I mean, does K Money have a fighter mentality?
They're just gonna like hug it out. Honestly,
this is true. So it might be a hug off.
Much more, but that's between them.
Okay. All right. Next matchup: Leap or Thread Guy?
Thread Guy. POG baby, proof of gym.
I actually feel like Leap would win. I feel like Leap's the kind of guy that you'd be like,
God?
Yeah, because those like random Twitter videos that you see, and it's like, here's this guy who kind of looks like he's like non-discreet, like, wouldn't be some scrappy dude, but then he busts out some like Taekwondo and shit, and he's next thing you know, chopping that motherfucker in the throat, and he's just hitting you before you can even think. Like, I think Thread Guy would get worked, and it's not a shot on Thread Guy. I see him at the gym. I see that, but I just feel like Leap would just low-key kind of be nasty.
Well, yeah, because also Thread Guy probably wouldn't take a shot at Leap.
This is
Leap's
fair.
Just an angel.
You can't really, yeah. And I feel like Leap would just, you'd see the real spiciness out of Leap come out there. I'm like I said, he crosses.
I would love to see that.
Oh yeah, we might have to make that happen. I'm gonna actually have to ask Leap if he's got some secret Taekwondo skills because I could totally see it.
He would never admit it. Then he would just like come at you when you least expect it.
This is true.
Yeah.
See, that's Leap for you. All right, third matchup: Ashley Decan or you.
Oh, Ashley Decan for sure. I'm like just bowing down to them titties. She's gonna be like, poo, 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 poo. Like I'm getting suffocated to death. By choice.
Death
by choice. I love you, Ash.
Death by tit.
Yeah.
Wow, that is that would be that'd be a wild fight. I think people would actually pay to watch that one.
I would too.
So
I'll bet against myself.
So here's the thing. So I was to end this, I was going to ask you this question. Hey, if here's your chance to be an alpha caller. If you could call it right now, one project that's underpriced, that you believe is prime for a big run up. I was going to ask you that question. I'm no longer going to ask you that question because to me, the easiest answer is the NFT project that you're dropping. Like it is, I am very excited to see that because I really do feel like most people, and maybe it's me being oblivious, but I feel like the majority of people don't know how talented you are. And I don't feel like I didn't know that you were into photography until you showed up for the first podcast and you brought over the Kendrick photo, right? And so I feel like with that, I'm going to challenge you in 2023 to be more forward about how talented you are. And with that, I think as more and more people see that, you're going to see these crazy sales that are going to come through. And it's going to be something that's going to show you like, how talented you are, but it's going to reinforce how talented you are from all of the support that's going to come through with that. So I am very excited for that. And I know you're going to have some massive, massive sales coming up.
I appreciate that. It's really cool because it's literally bringing like my two favorite things in this world together. And so like, I want to do it more. I don't know why I'm so closed off and like shy about these things, but
how can we get you to come out of your shell a little bit?
I mean, just like a new year and just like doing shit like this that like freaks me out and like doing things I'm scared to do that like give me anxiety and just like fucking do them and like do more of it because like it's something I just enjoy doing and I like put it to the side for whatever reason and like I just kind of need to bring it all together.
Yeah, I mean, it's just knowing that like it takes, they say it takes 10,000 hours to perfect anything, right? And so even like when I record the podcast, I always, when I'm editing them back, I'm like, oh, there's a question I could have asked. I could have led this way differently, whatever. But at the end of the day, like that's part of the growth process, right? It's the same thing of like when you take a photo, I had to embrace the like not always like having to take the perfect photo because the perfect photo is very difficult to do, right? And so you have to embrace that like not every photo is going to be perfect. And there are times that you'd be like, oh, if I had just done this, it could have been better. But you have to embrace that because that's part of like your growth journey. And like no matter who you are, you're not always going to be perfect. I mean, Tom Brady, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, if not the greatest quarterback of all time, if not the greatest athlete of all time, has been ass cheeks this NFL season. And yet the last few games, he has been dotting and he has been looking good and he's primed to make it into the playoffs and see where it goes from here. But it's like, it's that whole thing of like practice makes perfect. You got to put in that time and, and that goes for everybody. And so I'm very, very excited to see you kind of just overcoming some of this anxiety and whatnot and just saying, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And you're going to, and you're going to see all the reward that comes along with that. I mean, you might show up next time with like, 12 cases of Siempre because you're so loaded that you're like, yeah, Mark, I'm getting 60 ETH a fucking photo at this point. So here's a whole case for you,
Wow. I love that. It is very exciting. I mean, like the first drop I had, like just because I was using other people's likeness, it was like more hard to shill because like it's just a gray area in the space of like posting photos of famous people.
Yeah.
So like this one I am able to just talk about more and be more open about it. I'm excited for the rollout. Like ideally I want to I have 11 photos. I want to do one a day. And see how that goes. I don't know if I'll do like a fixed price or an auction. And if I do an auction, if you hit a certain amount, then like I'll mail the owner the actual physical copy framed.
I think you should definitely do that. You should definitely do an auction.
Okay.
Get all the money that you deserve. And then second, yeah, you should for sure mail it to people because I know, like I told you how excited I am to put this photo on the wall, and like definitely not the photo of myself. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. I have to figure that out because I cannot throw that away. It's too great of a gift. But I'm like, I also don't know what I'm gonna do with that. So
wow.
I feel like that's
just put it like in a cabinet somewhere random. So like when a guest comes over and opens it, it's just.
And I'm just like, listen, I love myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or in the bathroom, like right above the toilet. So every time you take a piss, you're like, damn, he's hot.
Damn, look at me.
Yeah.
look at that guy.
Take it to the gym with you, put on the chair next to you every time you work.
And I just say to somebody else, I'm like,
Oh, but you're more jacked in the
I'm
picture.
like, there's some motivation for you, bud.
Yeah.
This is what I used to look like. See how jacked I am now.
I love it.
But all right, so I want you to give yourself a goal so that this time next year, we're gonna have done another podcast before that, but we'll run another podcast this time next year on the same exact date. But I'm gonna hold you to it, a goal that you want to reach by this time next year.
Like I guess we can make it like NFT related. Should I just do like 3 drops this year?
There we go. Okay, so
is that too many?
No, not at all. Do you have any ideas?
Is 11 pictures too many?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Here's the thing about this. There's no rules, right?
Okay.
So if you do 11 images and you feel like 11 is too many, then next time do 5. Or if you feel like 11 is not enough, do a whole month of
I'll
photos.
always do 11.
What if you did 31 during Christmas next year and then there's like 31 days of Faithy?
But it's 12 days of Christmas.
Is that what it is?
31 days of Christmas.
31 days in December. 31 days in December.
It's just the 11 days of Faithy.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Wait, is that what it's called?
It is now.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Yeah. No, I was going to do like light it up or some weird shit. I don't know.
11
it like
days
has to do with weed. You get it?
I get that. 11 Days of Faithy, I really like. Because then
That's
you
cute,
could have
yeah.
like season 1, season 2, 11 Days of Faithy. That's a dope concept.
Mm-hmm.
No, I love that. I'm super excited for you. And so, okay, so the goal is 3 collections by this time next year.
And more confidence.
There we go. Next time you're going to only have to take 1 shot of tequila.
Sounds boring.
Sounds boring? Okay.
Yeah.
Should we amp it up next time? Just be fucking trashed?
Yeah.
Just do
Like
this episode
5
blacked
shots,
out. Yeah.
edibles. People do mushrooms these days. We can throw a couple of those in.
9, yeah. Let's just
oh my
do
God, it
Let's
would be so like perfect.
That would be the
and
most,
by perfect, I meant like probably very embarrassing of the shit I would say.
Yeah. Episode of
Yeah.
all time. Yeah, no, that would be.
I'm like trying to do headstands on the couch and take a shot at the same time.
I could.
But
Yep.
then it goes through my nose because I'm upside down.
Oh man, that would be a.
I think I've maybe tried that before.
That would be a visual. So we're gonna hold you to that. Next time we do this podcast, there's gonna be. You're also gonna do a headstand and do a shot at the same time.
And it's gonna come out of my nose and burn. And you approve of this?
Yeah, kinda.
It's because I iced you, huh?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I deserve this.
Wait? Should we end the podcast with you doing a headstand and?
This is a goal. All right, let's do it.
How do we?
Wait, but I can't do a shot doing a headstand. Oh my God, ask Eden the last time I did a headstand. You were there?
I was there. That's what I'm saying. Because here's the thing. Okay, so that camera.
And why would you ask this?
Would potentially pick you
Do
up.
I just do it on the couch?
I think you have to do it.
I
think you have to do it right here. Like
on the floor?
Yeah. I think you have to do it on the floor. Is it possible to
I hope we cut this out.
wait, are you gonna do but we have to put a challenge with it because a headstand's just a headstand. Are we gonna do a shot with it somehow?
No, because it's gonna come out of my nose.
Wait, be careful with that.
Just knock over everything.
Okay, so you said it's gonna so you're just gonna
This is not a good idea.
You got this. This is gonna be a hell of a photo.
Okay, but maybe not first try.
What are you
Should
looking
I take
for?
the shot first?
Yeah, go for it.
And after?
Go for it.
Okay.
Siempre Tequila sponsored.
How do I do this? I feel like brand new all of a sudden.
I don't know. This is uncharted territory. I've never had this moment occur in a podcast.
I'm gonna look real cute.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what's going on here, Marc.
Oh God.
Wait, hold on.
I have to make sure that you don't like
Break everything?
Yeah. Let's okay.
You
all right.
asked for this.
We got this.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, look at that. Let me get out of the photo. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. That is style and grace and the many faces of Faithy. Look at that. Ta-da! Oh my God. And
wow,
that is the way that we wrap up this podcast.
That was way better than the first handstand I did.
Yeah, that was actually low-key great. I was also kind of worried. I was like, I don't know if these chairs, like, I think they're made for a human to do a headstand on, but I was like, I've also never seen somebody do a headstand on a chair. So that
we solidified that for you.
Wow, that was a rush, right?
Yeah.
Who would have thought the podcast would end this way? So, Faithy, can you drop your socials? Where can people find you?
How to rush. Oh, 0xFaithy.
Oh,
0xFaithy.
You pass out right.
Yeah, right. Twitter. That's it.
There we
I
go.
don't do TikTok. I have one TikTok.
Okay.
I mean, like, actually just one video.
Okay. There we go.
Don't look for it.
Oh, now everyone's gonna.
It's just like leaving an ETH space for a soul space.
Fair.
And being bored, or the other way around. I don't remember.
Fair. Oh, I think I remember that.
No, maybe soul spaces were more fun.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And it was me like walking into the ETH space and be like, fuck that. I'm going back to soul space.
There we go. All right. So, Faithy, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on. This has been a hell of a podcast episode. One unlike any others, because I've definitely never had that occur in the middle of a podcast. So, very excited for the 11 Days of Faithy. Very excited for you to put out 3 collections in the next year, though you're going to be on before that. But yeah, I just want to say thank you. Appreciate you. Very excited to hang this Kendrick photo. Not as excited to figure out what I'm going to do with the other photo, but I just want to say I appreciate you. This was really fun. Did you have a good time?
Oh, I love it.
There we go.
Yeah. I was nervous for nothing.
See, it was nice and easy.
Yeah.
So
I literally almost walked out.
Anything
like,
you want to add?
This shit.
Fuck this shit. Fuck this Marc Colcer guy.
No, that's what I want to add. Not fuck you. You're fire. I love your podcast. I love talking to you. You're a great conversationalist. Up there with Leap, y'all both like just speak really well. I always think highly of both of you. Thank you for having me. I don't know, what I did to deserve this seat, but I guess the headstand really did it for me.
That's a high bar that you've now set for everybody else. So
tell Luca he better do one.
Oh, I think Luca might break my ceiling. Isn't he tall as shit?
Oh, he's very tall.
Yeah. I don't know if I can. Maybe we'll. Oh no, never mind. I'm not throwing ideas out there. But no, I appreciate you doing this. Appreciate the kind words, and very excited to see where everything goes. Very excited to celebrate the success of 11 Days of Faithy. And so with that, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for not judging the fuck out of us, even though you're probably going to. And yeah, we will see you guys soon.
Thank you. Bye.
See you guys.
I appreciate it so much. This is so nice.
Wasn't this fun?
Yeah.
There we go. What a success, right?
I know. Can I do my ASMR now?
Yeah. Aren't you supposed to like?
Yeah. So, welcome. Ew. That's exactly what you don't do. Hi, welcome to the Marc Colcer podcast with 0xFaithy. We're here today to take shots at tequila. Oh, I'm so fucking bad at this.
Welcome to ASMR. Hi, my name is Marc.
Hi, my name is Faith, and we're going to do the entire podcast like this. So if you could just turn up your volume a little bit, because it's going to get fucking loud!
Because we are fucking riding!
We're riding!
Oh, good God, I'm going to clip that. All right, see you guys.
Bye!